Hello everyone, it's Miss Diaz here, and this is lesson 15, review of sexual reproduction. So we're almost at the end of our school year. This will be one of the last units that we're going to be studying together, okay? Tomorrow you guys are going to have a quiz on sexual reproduction, so make sure you guys review your notes and the different videos that we've been doing every week, okay? So this entire slideshow is going to go through all the main points that you guys need to know. I'm probably going to give you guys about 10 questions on the quiz. You're only going to get one try to take it, so please take your time before you submit the actual quiz. This way you get your best grade, okay? So vocabulary words are on the second slideshow. We're going to go through them. Sexual reproduction, it takes two, okay? And it's a combination of two different parents that make one unique being. That's why sexual reproduction is important. It's different from asexual, which only has one parent and one offspring that are identical. So it's different from asexual reproduction. Sexual takes two, and the outcome comes out with a unique individual. So the easiest way, a lot of animals, a lot of things that are around us in the world are made through sexual reproduction, not just humans, okay? The easiest way for you guys to relate is through your own experience with your parents and you, right? You were made through sexual reproduction. You have a mix of both mom and dad. Okay, the two types of sex cells that you get are egg from a female and sperm from a male. What's great about them is that they have half the genetic material that a regular body cell would have. This makes it possible so that when they both unite, it makes a full individual. So a half plus a half equals a whole, okay? So simple math. We call them gametes, sex cells, and specifically for the female, it's the egg. For the male, it's the sperm. Fertilization is the action. It's when the sperm and the egg come together. So it's the action of when they come together and unite to make the offspring. The zygote is what you get after they unite. So the zygote is a one-celled organism with everything inside of it, has all of the DNA. So every one of us that's alive here that was made through sexual reproduction was once a zygote. So many years ago, for you guys, 14, 15, 16 years ago, you were once a zygote inside of your mom's fallopian tube, okay? So when the sperm and the egg came together in the fallopian tube, you were a zygote. Once it became a zygote, it started to multiply, okay? And then it comes down the fallopian tube down into the uterus, where it starts to turn into an embryo. Okay, so that's the next step. So once the zygote starts to multiply by mitosis, okay, starts to make copies of itself. So the one-celled organism starts to replicate, starts to make copies of itself in the uterus. It becomes an embryo, then a fetus, and then once the baby is born, we call it a baby. Okay? The placenta, they always like to talk about the placenta because the placenta is pretty cool. It's what connects and transfers the nutrients from the mom to the baby. Baby isn't able to eat, right? We can't feed the baby through the mom's stomach lining. So the mom eats, she breathes in oxygen, she exhales carbon dioxide, and the baby gets the same nutrients that it goes in. So that's why it's very important that mom stays healthy so that the baby stays healthy. Everything the mom eats, the baby eats. Everything the mom does, the baby gets as well. That's why it's big that mothers don't smoke or around smokers, aren't around drug use and alcohol use. Because the same thing that happens to mom happens to baby. And while they're inside of the mom, the fetus is very sensitive to what's happening around them as well. Okay? So here's another slide. It's the same slides from the previous lesson. Sexual reproduction takes two parents, sex cells, the egg, and the sperm. Now the sperm is small, it has a tail, it allows it to swim up the canal and meet the egg. The egg is a lot larger, but only one sperm and one egg it takes for a zygote to occur. Okay? So here's a nice diagram. Sperm and egg, they come together through fertilization, create a zygote, and then it goes through mitosis. Mitosis, if you remember from last week, the previous week, mitosis is a type of asexual reproduction in which you're making copies of the cells. I know it's kind of hard to kind of think about your cells in all parts of your body having the same DNA, but they really do. So if you were to take a cell from your skin cell, from your eyeball, from your heart cell, from your muscle cell, and you were to look at it underneath the microscope, you will see that it has all of the same DNA. Nothing changes. Everything is the same. Right? The reason why different parts of your body look different is because of a process called differentiation. Your body starts to turn on different parts of your DNA. Okay? It's kind of like in your house, you have a full house. It has many lights, but you only turn on the lights to certain parts of the house when you're using only certain parts of the house. Right? But your complete house is still there, right? So same thing with your DNA inside your cell. Think about it like it's always there. All the DNA in every cell and every part of your body is all there, but only certain parts of your DNA get turned on to work in that certain part of your body. So mitosis is pretty interesting. Every place in your body is going through that. It's always replicating, replacing cells all the time to make your body stay alive, okay, and healthy. So when you're a zygote and you turn into when you start to develop into an embryo and a fetus, your mom is using a lot of energy to make that baby grow. It's literally growing rapidly inside of the uterus, going through mitosis, helping this baby, this fetus develop until it's able to come out. Okay. So here we go, next photo. So here we have a nice little diagram. So the fallopian tube is an actual tube. So I'm going to point at it. Let's see, master pointer. So not working. Let's see, let me present it and maybe it'll come out better. So the fallopian tube, a lot of people think that the baby gets pregnant, that you get pregnant inside your uterus, but that's not really where it happens. It happens over here inside the tube. So the mom releases an egg about once a month and it stays over here inside the tube. When mom and dad have sex, or whoever's conceiving the baby have sex, the sperm swims up the canal and then it meets the sperm right up here in the fallopian tube. Once it becomes a zygote, it starts to travel down and it starts to go through mitosis. You see how the cells are starting to replicate, starting to divide into more and more and more and more and more. And then it stops in the uterus and then it's going to implant itself on the wall of the uterus. And it's going to start to replicate more and more and more until it becomes what we think of, what we know of a pregnant woman when we see a pregnant woman, we look at the fetus inside of the uterus. It's going to keep developing until it's ready to come out once again as a baby. So it takes about 9 months. It's actually closer to 10 months. It's a very long time for a woman to stay pregnant and develop the baby. Okay. So here we go. We have the picture again. So male sperm, female sperm, they come together. It forms a zygote. It has all of DNA, has a mix of mom and dad. And that's why we're so unique. We don't have, even if you have siblings, everyone has a different mixture from mom and dad. So you become a zygote. Your body goes through mitosis. And you see that one cell starts to replicate into millions of different cells until it finally develops into a baby. Okay. So here we have the same thing. It makes copies through mitosis. So this happens with animals. It happens with plants. It happens with different reptiles. So anything that you can possibly think about that goes through sexual reproduction that requires an egg and a sperm has to go through the same process. The only thing about humans is that it happens internally. Okay. So here we go, fetal development, fertilization is the first day, it starts to multiply, and then this is how a baby, or how everyone has basically looked inside their mother's womb, what we call the uterus, okay? Same picture again, fertilization, mitosis, until you turn into an embryo. Okay, last one over here. So this is the fetus. You see how it's connected by the umbilical cord. Everyone has an umbilical cord. So if you were to check you and everyone in their family, of course, with permission, you ask them if they have an umbilical cord. They do have an umbilical cord. See, this is the way that you were attached to your mother. This is how you got your nutrients. So you're attached to the placenta, which is attached to the mother. This is how you got your oxygen. This is how you got your food, okay? There's a bunch of different blood cells over here that are connected, and all the blood, everything transfers to the baby. The baby also has to make waste. So it's kind of cool. You're receiving nutrients and the baby's also releasing waste through that same canal. So it's a very interesting thing if you really come to think of it. When the placenta comes out, if you look up real pictures of it, it's huge, okay? Because it's such an important organ for the baby and the mother in order for them to stay alive and to protect the baby for all its needs, okay? All right. With that being said, I put here 10 questions. I might make it more. I don't know. We'll see. It's about 10 questions on the quiz. Make sure you review all your notes. Look at the Brain Pop. Please use the Brain Pop. I think it's a great tool. You guys have a free login and password. You guys can use that for this class or for any of your other classes. Once again, I hope you guys are doing well. And let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to exit out of here and pause the video. And I guess my secret question of this week will be to see if you watched the video. What am I wearing on my face?